Greetings everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and I am Dr. Lakita Maka, and Matrix, this one is for you. In this video we are diving into agricultural sciences paper 1 from last year's exam, November 2024. So this is part 1 of our revision series, and we only gonna focus on section A. So for this one we're only gonna focus on section A, so that is your short questions that test your core knowledge. So let's get to it. Let's break it down, make it simple as possible. So we're gonna try make it simple as possible. So we're gonna start with our first question on section 8, question 1.1, that is the multiple choices. So I'm gonna read through the question and I'm gonna give you the correct answer, and if possible I am going to explain why it's the answer. Right. So, which one of the following does not form part of the large intestine? One of the following does not form part of the large intestine. You are given your rectum, your colon, caecum, ileum. So, one thing that we need to know is that the large intestine includes caecum, it includes colon, it includes the rectum. So the other option that we have there, which is D, ileum, is the final part of the small intestine and is responsible for absorbing nutrients. So the correct answer there is D. Now, if you're still here with me, please do not forget to like and subscribe, and make sure that you share this with your friends. Now we are going to move. A feed with TDN, that is the total digestible nutrients, of 72%, and the DP, the digestible protein, of 8%, will have a digestible non-nitrogenous substances, the DNNS, of dash. You have 4 options. 1 is to 9, 8%, 64%, 1 is to 8. Now, what does this mean? This one needs you to have a piece of paper. But obviously, on your exam book, you will have somewhere where you are writing it down, because you have to do a quick calculation, or you just calculate it from the top of your head. Why? The digestible non-nitrogenous substances is equal to the TDN, which is the total digestible nutrients, minus the DP. So it's those two, TDN minus DP. You are given there. So 72 minus 8. As simple as that is. And then the correct answer there is C, because 72 minus 8 is 64. So these are the digestible carbohydrates and fats. Then we move to 1.1.3. One of the following feeds has the highest biological value. So you have linseed meal, you have fish meal, you have peanut oil meal, you have leucine. So highlight there is the highest biological value. So the biological value refers to how efficiently protein is used by the body. And looking at those options, fish meal has a complete amino acid profile and is highly digestible. So one that has the highest, so that highlight that highest, is option B, the fish meal. Right? In a farm, right, or in farm animals, the esophagus is an extension of the pharynx at the back of the oral cavity, and it connects the mouth with the stomach. It is a passage for bolus from the mouth to the stomach. It is where absorption process starts, it regulates the swallowing process. So now, with these esophagus functions, which one is the correct combo? Like, we are looking for the correct combo. So now this takes you back to understanding the functions of the esophagus. So the esophagus connects the mouth to the stomach, it transports the bolus, and also it helps to regulate swallowing. So absorption doesn't occur here. It doesn't occur here. So the correct combo there would be 1, that is, it connects mouth to the stomach, right? And then 2, it transports bolus. And then number 4, it regulates what? Swallowing process. That means the correct answer there is D. You write D, uphume emabhozeni. Ne? Continue. Number 5, a permanent intensive poultry housing system in which the floor is covered with straw and wood shavings. You have 4 options again there, and you only have to choose one. Must choose your fighter there. So the correct answer there is deep litter, right? In deep litter systems, the bedding materials absorbs moisture and waste. And then what it also do is it also helps to provide insulation and comfort for poultry, right? Moving to 1.1.6, the following method of handling farm animals applies specifically to sheep. Right. Work with animals using a neck clamp. Use random dogs to handle them. Okay, that's that's not a good idea. Catch animals as high as possible on their hind legs. I also wouldn't advise that. Use a prodder or a whip. No, guys, unless you want SAPS to comfort you. So sheep are best restrained using neck clamps so that you avoid injury. Guys, using dogs or what is the prodder, like, it will just cause stress, it will just harm them. So please don't go for those options. So the only option that makes sense here is a neck clamp. So the correct answer there is A. So a carrier organism that is responsible for transmission of the disease causing agent. So what is a carrier organism? We have vector, we have pathogen, we have toxin, we have virus. So a vector, number 1, is an organism, whether it's a tick or it's a mosquito. And what does it do? It transmits what? Pathogens from one host to another. So definitely it cannot be a pathogen, it cannot be a toxin, it also cannot be a virus. So the correct answer there is A. Now we are coming well. We are coming well. If you're still here with me, just don't forget to leave a comment, and you can say whatever you want to say. But yeah, we're still here together, and just wish everyone good luck on their exams if you are writing agricultural sciences this year. So the following are the measures to prevent absorption of poison already digested. So you have animals should be kept away from drinking water, administering strong tea or activated charcoal, providing feed loaded with additives, dosing animals with sugar or glucose. So what is the correct combo there? So The correct answer there is D, because what you can do if animals are poisoned or a human being, but now in this case, because we are dealing with agricultural sciences, so we are talking about animals. One, keep them away from providing what you call feed with additives, right? The best thing that you can do is to also keep them away from drinking water, because that will take the poison down, right? And what you can do is to give them charcoal, guys. Activated charcoal binds toxins. You can also dose animals with glucose or sugar, because glucose provides energy. So as I have said, if you prevent them from having water, you are preventing further absorption, so withholding or keeping them away. So the correct combination there is D, keeping them away from drinking water, giving them strong tea or activated charcoal. Activated charcoal is number one. And also giving them sugar or glucose, right? So the correct combination there is 1, 2, and 4. Right, moving to 1.1, what is the pathway, the milk pathway from udder to release, right? The following is a milk pathway from the point of production in the udder until it is released. So what is the correct answer? Now this will take you back to what you had studied, right? So the correct answer there is let's give it up. Just write it down before I say it. But let me explain. What happens when the milk is produced? So the milk is produced in the alveoli, right? And then it is stored where? It is stored in the gland cistern. And then it passes through the teat, what? Cistern. And then it exits what? The teat canal. So the correct answer there is C. It's produced in the alveoli and it's stored in the gland cistern, and it passes through the teat cistern and then exits through the teat canal. So that C is your correct answer there. Then we come to the last multiple choice question. Here, one of the following about meiotic cell division during spermatogenesis is not correct. It is not correct. So it halves the chromosome number to form reproductive cells, or it produces two identical diploid daughter cells from a parent cell, or it is also known as reduction cell division. Okay. Forms 4 haploid daughter cells from a parent cell. So what happens in meiosis, right? So in meiosis, there are 4 non-identical haploid cells that are produced, right? Now what about so what about mitosis, right? Now this again, it needs you to have a clear understanding between the two. It needs you to have a clear understanding of what the question is asking you. Here we are told that is not correct. So is everything correct in here? So as I have said, Meiosis produces 4 identical haploid cells, not diploid. So this is actually essential for sexual reproduction. So the answer that is not correct there is B, that it produces 2 identical diploid cells, because what it does is it produces non-identical haploid, not diploid. So the correct answer there is B. Now, let's match column A with their correct answers or correct descriptions in column B. So, secreted by islets of Langerhans. So, we only have maltase versus insulin, and the correct answer there is B only. Why? Because maltase is an enzyme that breaks down maltose. So insulin is secreted by the pancreas, which is the islets of Langerhans, to regulate blood sugar, right? And then we have the second one. We have 2 options there. It's a card versus a chime, right? It is a regurgitated bolus inside the mouth. And what do we say when an animal does that? It's chewing the cud. So the correct answer there is A only. So that's what you're gonna write on your answer book. You're gonna say A only. A only, not just A only, right? And this is because cud is regurgitated food in ruminants for re-chewing. So with chime, it is the semi-liquid that is digested in the stomach. So that digested food, semi-liquid digested food, right? Now then we move consequence of correct and frequent handling of animals. You have 2 options there. Poor meat qualities versus aggressive temperament. The correct and frequent handling, which will improve meat qualities and reduces aggression. What is that? What should be that? Now here we are looking for a consequence. Is there a consequence there? Both of these are not consequences of good handling, because if you handle them correctly, they wouldn't give you poor meat quality, they wouldn't be aggressive, right? Animals and their products are not allowed to enter or leave the country to control the spread of diseases. To leave. So when we are leaving, we are talking about. So both of these are bans, right? Both of them are used to correct disease spread by actually restricting the movement of animals and products, right? So if they are not allowed to enter or to leave, it means both of them are correct. So the answer there is both A and B, because export going out, import coming in, right? Involuntarily contractions of the pelvic floor in male animals, resulting in the discharge of semen. What is the correct answer there? You have 2 options, copulation and courtship. Now this one is clear. It cannot be courtship because it's contractions of pelvic floor in male animals. So copulation involves semen discharge, while courtship is behavioral. It does not involve any physical discharge. So the answer there is A only. Now let's define the term. We're coming to 1.3, the terminology. Those are good marks that you can just give yourself, get yourself that 10 marks. So give one term, one word or one term for each of the following. Right. Now the collective term or name for finger-like protrusions in the rumen of farm animals, the correct answer there is papillae. Right, so papillae increase surface area for absorption in the rumen. Right, the farming system where the farmer raises pigs with the aim of feeding the family. So highlight there is feeding family, so that is subsistence farming. Now subsistence farming is small scale and is just meant to feeding the family, the farmer's household. Just like what I do, I plant spinach at my home so that I can feed my family. Right? The vegetables that I plant, they are not to be sold, but is to feed my family. The type of cloning performed to produce embryonic stem cells that develop into new tissues and organs, right? This is therapeutic cloning. So this type of cloning creates stem cells for medical use and not for reproduction. A 16-celled solid ball that forms after fertilization, and we call that a morula, right? The morula is an early stage of embryonic development. What is happening with this word today? What is happening? But anyway, don't forget to leave some love, give it a like. If you haven't subscribed up to this far, please make sure that you do subscribe. And then the last one, we have the tube that transport sperm cells from the epididymis to the urethra, and that is, I think everyone knows this. Let's give it to everyone. Everyone knows this one. That is the vas deferens. So the vas deferens carries sperm from the epididymis to the urethra. Then we are coming to the last section of our section A, question 1. Right, and here you will just underline, you're gonna change the underlined words. So the best thing you will do is to read the whole statement. So dash dash involves transportation of water and nutrient molecules from small intestine into the bloodstream. So we know that the underlined word there, which is mastication. Mastication is chewing. So the correct one there is absorption, right? The dash tick is a 3-host tick that transmit hot water in farm animals, right? And that is the bond tick, because it's the actual vector for hot water disease, right? And then the next one, this one brings blood of the mother and the fetus in close contact. So is it allantoisis or not? Definitely it's not, because you have to change the word. So the placenta is the one that actually facilitates exchange between maternal and fetal blood. So the term that you write, you only write, guys, write only the answer next to the question number. So you will only write placenta there, right? Organ transfer occurs when the nucleus of a body cell is transferred to an nucleated unfertilized egg. So the correct answer there is somatic, right? Somatic cell nuclear transfer. So ovum transfer is moving fertilized eggs. So nucleus transfer is part of cloning, right? And we move to 1.4.5, a Graafian follicle. A Graafian follicle develops in the ovary after ovulation in the place of burst follicle. So, after ovulation, what happens? A Graafian follicle actually becomes corpus luteum. So, what happens after, what develops in the ovary after ovulation is corpus luteum. So a corpus luteum develops in the ovary after ovulation in the place of burst follicle. Then after ovulation, the Graafian follicle, now the one that is wrong here, actually becomes the corpus luteum, right? Now I think we have reached the end, and yeah, that I actually thought this was going to take like 10 minutes and then that's it. Now it means that we have to brace ourselves for the next section B, because it's quite long, but I will try to actually do, let's say, 2 questions or 1 question each revision, and then we move to the next question, so that dingane stress, guys, dingane stress already. This was quite a lot, especially for revision, but trust me, it is worth it. So that's a wrap for section 8, and we have just revised 45 marks worth of content. So with section B, now section B will cover, we are going to tackle long questions on nutrition, on production, on reproduction, and more. So that will be a bit longer, but I'll probably make it in like 3 sections or even 2 sections. So the part 2 will be question 2, which is animal nutrition. And remember, when you answer that one, make sure you answer it on a new page. So remember, we are practicing for exam. Make sure you write neatly, make sure your writing is clear, you can see it, assuming the examiner can see it. Remember, the examiner is not your teacher, so they are not familiar with your handwriting. So make sure you write well. Once again, thank you so much for joining me. Please do not forget to like, to subscribe, to share this with your classmates, and we are going to ace this paper together. Cheers, until next time.